Good holiday, good break. We thought it fell on a good time, being that it was the weekend, so it was good for us. But anyway, so one of the things that I was doing the last few days, besides spending a lot of time with my family and stuff, is I actually read a book called The Collagen Cure, and I think sometimes, and I'm thinking back to, and I'll tell you a little bit of a story. And you heard part of this when Bobby and I were at the beach, and take notes, because I think I have some angles that are a little, and I don't usually say that to you, but I kind of wrote some stuff down because we were at the beach, I guess a week or two ago, I forget. And it was funny, the people that parked next to us, you heard he was dressed in a Santa outfit. He kind of really did look like Santa. He had, the
You did
long
look like
white hair.
Santa.
Yeah, he had the long white hair. He had the beard, and I even asked him, do you keep that hair long the whole time? And he said no. He starts to grow it out about June, and the beard and stuff, all for this look of playing Santa. And he actually saw on the side of the Jeep where we have Biohacker. And he came over and he asked what Biohacker was. And, Bobby looked at me, and, my first intention was to start to talk about, what we do with, Protanum and stuff, and weave that into a conversation. But the thing that was really obvious is his arm was bleeding. And he had that kind of skin that, as you get older, it looks very bruised and it's very thin. And this is something that we can easily recognize. So, when we're talking to a person, a lot of times we might size them up with their words, but we got to size them up with the way they look too. I mean, obviously, if they're heavy, we can't call them fat, but being the fact that he had thin skin, I could change paths and talk about collagen. So, in this book, it really had so much really interesting information. And Dr. Goodman may know all this, but I'm going to go through some of this because I think it's important when we talk to people about collagen. We know about collagen, but I don't mean in the medical terms. I mean in layman's terms, so people can understand, why do they need collagen? One of the things I thought was very interesting, why we need collagen more now than, say, even just 30 years ago. And maybe you can relate to this in your family. My family was back then very holistic, way back when. I mean, we had wheat germ and stuff on the counter, sprouts. I mean, we were weird at our time, way back then. But I think too, like when Bobby and I got married, anybody ever have pig's feet in your refrigerator? I mean, that was a no-go, right, Bobby? I was like, that happened once. That wasn't happening again. So, but the whole reason that we need so much collagen now is the collagen that is found in animals is not found in the filleted, piece of fish that we're eating, or the cutlet of the chicken that's all deboned and stuff. It's found in all the organs, the bones. They would take, I guess, whole animals years ago and boil it all down, boil down the bones. You've heard of bone broth. That's what happened. Years ago, they used the whole body. You ate, I guess, the liver and whatever. Even, like turkey, you did the giblets or whatever. You used the whole animal. And so we don't no longer do that. And so what happens, that has created an even bigger need for us to, have collagen and actually to be able to support, supplement with it. So, that was very interesting to me. And that is something, you can weave into a conversation with somebody, particularly, as we get to be, in our 50s, 60s, 70s, people like, well, why all of a sudden do I need to have collagen? Well, because you're not eating the whole animal anymore the way that maybe you used to do. I just got to let her in, the way you used to do years ago. So what's causing the damage? We talk a little bit about this on our launch, but it's the sun, it's the sugar, it's the smoke, it's all the S's, so, and again, not too many people smoke anymore, but all of that is causing a lot of accelerated damage. Processed foods. The environment is a big trigger too. All the pollution is a big trigger for collagen and what happens. So, we know that at age 20, And again, you weave this into a conversation. So, you're talking to somebody about it and you just say, hey, collagen, you start losing collagen as early as in your 20s, 25, company says 30, depending on what you're reading, it's early. For decades, you've been losing a collagen. And so I would say that to somebody. I wouldn't say that you're losing 10% a decade or anything, but I'd say for decades, you've been losing this collagen and, you need to replenish it. So obviously it's the skin. And that's what I thought collagen was in the beginning, was totally just skin, the way that you were going to look and stuff. But collagen is 30% of the protein in our bodies. It is 70% of that protein is in the skin alone and 80% in the bones. So again, as we get older, a lot of people are certainly deficient in collagen, but it's causing this thinning of the skin that I just talked about, which I related to that story because Santa was standing in front of us and his arm was profusely bleeding, and he let us know.
And all he had done, keep in mind, he had just banged his arm on the side of his car. It's not like he fell or got cut, or he just banged his arm and it was bleeding like someone had knifed him. I mean, it was sad, that it was bleeding that bad.
So, that's just one area, but how many times do we hear of, people have, other like joint pain, or osteoarthritis, these were some statistics that I just thought were amazing. 1 in 7 osteoarthritis affects 1 in 7 here in the US, 1 in 7. That's greater than breast cancer. Breast cancer is 1 in 8. I mean, that means a lot of people are walking around with joint pain, severe joint pain. It's actually the 4th leading cause of disability in the world globally. So again, these are conversations when you see somebody maybe limping and you get into a conversation, you can ask them, what is going on? They were saying 1 out of 3 suffer knee pain. 1 out of 3. I mean, these were crazy statistics to me, but so much of that collagen is in your bone. Like I said earlier, some 80% of it. So, again, as we get to talk to people, it's bone density, which is an issue. It's arthritis, it's the cushioning, it's, all of our organs and stuff. It really is the glue. So as we're talking to people, we're not going to talk, why, bovine versus marine or hydrolyzed. Those are all boring things. But if you can weave this into a story as far as results and benefits to a person, you will have that person a lot sooner than you will, just throwing some statistics at them or something. But I wanted you to see how big, and I guess I feel like that was a point I was missing, how big a market it is, not just the skin and the way we look, but all those different benefits that we can get from collagen that are health wise that that we don't talk about a lot. So they were saying then even bigger, 1 in 3 people die from cardiovascular disease. What's really interesting about that is 90% of heart disease is preventable. 90%, crazy. And they said 53% of those deaths is directly related to diet. But again, this is where collagen makes those vessels more pliable. That brings down high blood pressure. That reduces a lot of these cardio, because again, and I don't want to get into the whole thing about it, but these are things that we can talk to people about. And if we weave it into a story as opposed to throwing a lot of information at them, it is just really, really interesting. And so I think, you can get somebody's attention, whether it's those arteries, the tendons, the ligaments, bone density, arthritis. Those are all ways that we can talk to somebody, because maybe at a certain age, they're not necessarily like, I don't think Santa Claus was really concerned about some wrinkles he might have had on his face. Just wouldn't have been, just wasn't a market for him. But if I can,
and now I wasn't concerned about his weight because he was working on that nice Santa belly,
Yeah. So he had some other things going on, but I just think back to, I was able, and I happen to know somewhere in the back of my mind, thin skin, but a lot of this stuff I didn't really know. So if you get a chance, read something. One of the things I can suggest in marketing is, look at what other companies that have collagen are doing. look at what they're doing. You know, the author of this book, I know he's probably selling a million supplements. I mean, just a gazillion different supplements. But it was interesting enough to hear how the flip, or how he was marketing, how he was getting people excited based on the benefits and not selling ingredients in a product. So, you know, I just wanted to let you know. The other thing that was really interesting and really good is the marine that we have in our collagen is the most bioavailable. So we do have the best source, because a lot of times people will throw at you bovine, they'll do different things. But again, and the collagen that comes, it comes from all the organs that you don't eat on a fish. There's scales and bones and things that are left over, which was interesting too. So anyway, that's just a little information. I thought, you know, that might broaden, you know, who you're talking to, or when you get into a conversation with somebody. For me, you know, tennis, I don't know how many people have problems with knees. I mean, I hear it all the time, and they're trying to wear different bands and stuff. So, you know, I now have, for me, a new approach, because, you know, I can say that's directly related to collagen, and talk about collagen and, you know, what's going on there with the cushioning of the joints and stuff. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Bobby, you want to
Yeah,
add?
you know, it's funny. I've had, you know, I've been asking you to stay very, very visual with your post on collagen, your before and afters. And again, if you don't have anything to post, you should just take mine. Okay. But if you take mine, make sure that it fits in some of you post it and it doesn't fit in the box. It's too big and people can't read the letters. And all you got to do is pinch it to make it fit. That's all you have to do is pinch it. So, but if you're ever out of material, just take mine or take April's. I mean, just copy it. But here's what's happened. I've gotten like 4 new customers. 2 of them came from my massage therapist, and 2 of the others were people that I've just known for years. And listening to April, and April was talking a lot about this because our oldest son and daughter-in-law are using another collagen, and they were listening to April talk about this stuff, and they know the collagen that they were using is not doing what April was talking about, you know. So last night they're talking about, all right, so how do we get that one in? And there's got to be a cheaper way you can give us a deal and this and that. I'm just laughing at it. But it just wore their butts out, you know, over the cruise. While we were with them on the cruise, they were seeing all the posts. But here's what I've been doing. I make sure that the stories are up, and for a couple days while we were in the Bahamas and cruising around, I stuck with just Christmas stuff. Okay. But as soon as, you know, I had some time today, I went right back up and loaded up with the before and afters. Okay. Because Christmas is over and everyone's thinking New Year's resolutions, looking better, feeling better, losing weight, earning more money. You know, all the things, you've heard it before. So what I've noticed, and I was going back in my notes, everybody reaches out to me after they've either used our website, and that's the one we gave you, the Collagen Activator website, after they've looked through that, or they've seen the post on stories, or, you know, on our wall on Facebook. And what's interesting, the before and afters always get their attention and starts a conversation, always. Okay. But I've closed most of them by adding the other benefits that April was just talking about. That was like, they were sold on the before and afters, and that's why they reached out, and that's why they wanted to talk. But I added to the other benefits that they couldn't see visually and what other people are getting. And sometimes I send them testing before and afters on that. Okay, depending on what it is, if it's joints, if it's this, if it's that, whatever it might be. But you know, that's 4 in the last 2 weeks. And, you know, 2 of them were referrals. What's funny is my massage therapist is not in the business yet. And she's sending me people that buy like this. I mean, quick. So I've made another appointment for a massage this week with her. I have to straighten her out and make sure she understands that she should be earning money. And I'm going to throw her a little cash. I'll throw her $40, $20 a customer and say, but look, you could be in it for 60. Just sign the app. You know what I mean? But she's been massaging me for years now, and two things. She noticed that I lost weight. She noticed my skin is clearer and smoother, but she likes the third-party referral thing. She's younger, she's in her early 30s, and I think the sales thing kind of has her a little bit not sure that she can do it, but she could tell everybody she knows that one of her clients has this collagen, okay, and send it. And I just got to help her with some verbiage on how she can just be doing that for herself, okay? And it could be something as simple as, if she wants my help, I'll give her my help, but when I send the link for them to buy, they'll buy it from her. You know what I mean? They don't need to buy it from me. They could buy it from her. So, but I'm telling you, that 1-2 punch, and, you know, very rarely, and it happens occasionally, where someone just, they see the before and after, and they just want to buy it, and that's it. And there's no other conversation needed. But when there is, the stuff April's just talking about, but don't talk like a doctor or a scientist or a brainiac. Do not do that, okay? I am glad I am not like that. I do not talk that way. April can talk that way. I can't, and I'm glad I can't, okay? All I do is talk benefits, 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 benefits. And it starts with visual benefits, and then it goes to more, you know, internal benefits, okay? But that's all I talk. And if they want to know more when it comes to science or something, I let someone else's article or a video do the talking for me. I am not going to be that person. I will be the person that directs them to that information if they insist. That's not going to come voluntarily from me, okay? But if they insist on knowing more, let's call it science or those kind of details, I'll just point them to where they can find it. But I am not going to be the messenger, okay, on that one. I'm just going to say, you know, and I always say, you know, you probably, especially if I'm dealing with anyone from the health field, and I don't mean just doctors like Ira here. I'm talking about, it could be a massage therapist. It could be anybody that's in the health field. I'll always say something like this. If I was talking to Noelle, she's a dentist. It don't make any difference to me. You probably know this already or know more about this than I do. But what I've seen or what I have experienced has been this, and I talk benefits. So I compliment them on their knowledge. Now, do I think Noelle knows all of that? No, but I'm giving her some credibility for being a medical person and making her feel good. And it makes me less, I don't know, less intimidating, less challenging, more friendly. Okay, because I say that to, I mean, I've known Dr. Goodman a long time, you know, he's from Long Island. We're Mets and Jets fans, and we joke about it all the time. And we've gone through a lot of crappy years with those teams, and they're playing better these days. But I still do not talk to him like that. Do I, Ira? Have I ever talked to you in any form of science? Never, right? I mean, never. He's a smart freaking doctor. He's been doing it a long time, and I've known a long time, but I don't talk to him that way. I talk to him the way guys talk to each other. Okay, and that's the language we have. But I'll point him to something he's looking for, but I'm not going to be that person. I'll just direct him to where he can read on it if he wants to. Okay, so I'm going to give it back to April, and we definitely want to hear from you guys tonight. But you know, there's 5 days left in the month, and you've heard me talk about building momentum right now through New Year's and obviously into January. And, you know, the collagen fat burn promotion and discount special, there's a reason it's running to the end of January. Okay, there's a reason for that. They didn't just do it for this month. There's a reason for it. But you want to be building the momentum with people. Now their minds are on buying and spending for themselves. The gift stuff is over. They've given their Christmas presents. They've done what they're going to do. Hanukkah's over. Christmas is over. Kwanzaa's someday this week, but the gift giving's done. Okay, the holiday season is done, And people are going to start now thinking about taking care of buying something for themselves. And that's why we need to stay up on social media. Okay. We were listening to a great girl today. What was her name, April?
I actually forget. I forget. I don't
Kim
remember.
something or whatever. It was interesting. She popped up. It's another one that does some coaching stuff. And, you know, and I knew we were going to be driving home from Miami. So it was 1 hour for 3 days, an hour a day. And it was like $9. And I mentioned a couple weeks ago to April, and she just enrolled for it. And we're in the car today listening. And I'm like, this lady's really good. Okay. And I'd never heard of her before, but here's all I needed to know. I'm listening to it. April's watching it and listening to it from the, you know, the passenger seat. But she says, do you know it's 12 noon and 2,500 people are watching this right now live? And I said, that's all I need to know. The lady's credible. Okay. Obviously she's credible what she's doing. And we listened for that first hour, and she's going to do it for an hour tomorrow, hour Wednesday. But I'm bringing up this. All the things she talked about were a lot of the things that April and I have been talking to you guys about for months now. And she had a line that I absolutely loved. And getting knowledge, okay, like listening to somebody for 3 days and not applying it after you've listened to it is the biggest waste of time and money there is. Okay, it's just an absolute waste of time and money. The application to what you learned is where the money is. That's where the money's earned. That's where the business is built. And she said it in a woman's way of saying it, but it was very powerful with the way she said it, because I know lots of people that have taken lots of courses just like you guys do, but have never applied anything they learned and put it into action. And then they're on to another course and nothing ever gets put into, you know, into action. And this woman was so adamant about application is the most important aspect. Learn it and apply it, learn it and apply it, and learn it and apply it before you learn anything else. You know what I mean? Like, make it a habit to building your business, get results, and then go learn the next thing, you know, from it. So it was very good. But April, I'm gonna give it back to you.
Yeah, you know, her name is Kristen Boss. If anybody wants the link, I can send it. I think it's open to tomorrow night. So
It's only $9, and even if you miss today, it's recorded, and
So-
it'll be there for, what'd she say, till Friday, and then she deletes everything.
deletes it. And there's going to be an upsell. Everything's an upsell. One of the things that was interesting, if this applies to you, is, you know, we always hear about our why, make our why big, get excited about our why. And she did not use those terms. But, you know, so much in our industry is people need, they're just not excited about their journey. And so she had some key factors on how to get excited about your journey. And so I can relate that to the collagen. You know, reading this book over the last few days is an easy read. It just gets me more excited about it. So when I listen to things, you know, and again, everything's got to be in moderation. That you cannot spend, if you're part-time, let's say you've got, you know, 10 hours a week, you know, by the time you're doing some of these, you know, you do a company, you listen for an hour, you just can't keep up with all that we're doing, that Bobby and I are doing. But you do have to fit your need. If your need is you feel like you don't really understand collagen, then you need to read something on collagen and do some research and figure it out. If you're not excited about your why, you need to go to somebody that can help you with that, or whatever it is. If you're lacking in social media skills, then, you know, you just always take that snippet. Don't take like the whole thing. Somebody that's selling everything A to Z is not the person for you. You need to figure out what your little need is and go figure that out. Because once you know that knowledge is powerful. And you've heard us say that for years and years and years. Once you have that knowledge, you get excited. Knowledge is excitement. So, you know, again, but if you want her link, again, it's only $9. It's an hour for the next 3 days. I'm sure there's going to be some big upsell.
There's always an upsell.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're ever going to do an upsell again. You learn so much in the 3 days. if you're going to buy someone's upsell, it should be 6 months or a year later after you've applied what you learned in the 3 days and measured the results on it. I mean, hey, look, I bought the upsell on Michael Burnoff. It was the worst $2,500 I ever spent. I only listened to 1 hour course after that, after the initial, okay? It was just too much time. And if I would have spent all that time with that training, I'd have no time to build my business. You know what I mean? It was just way, way, way too much time. And what got my attention with Kristen, with this girl that April just gave you the information on, 1 hour a day for 3 days, and that was it. And I said, you know what? I can get enough pearls from 3 hours over the course of the Christmas, New Year's week, okay, that with $9, but what blew my mind was 2,500 people listening on Christmas Day, legal holiday. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. That was at lunchtime, man. It wasn't like tonight. You know what I mean? That was at noontime Central Time. So anyway, it's not what you learn. It's whether you apply it or not that changes your business. That changes your earnings, and learning something and not applying it is just it's just foolish. And that's what she said, is just a waste, not only a waste of time, but a waste of money to learn something and then not apply it,
So we'll open it up in a second. My last thought is, the New Year's here. Christmas is over. People don't wait for New Year's anymore. It's time to get started. A lesson that I've learned more recently is, and actually somebody confirmed it talking to Bobby the other day, people are watching you. And I can't
Big
tell you
time.
how often they reach out and they're like, I'm interested. You kind of give them the information, they kind of stall, they're thinking, but if you don't reach out to people, most times, and it's funny, this has gone on for years. Bobby will say, it seems a little quiet lately. When it's quiet, when my business is quiet, our business is quiet, when I don't make the phone calls. When I don't reach out, I don't get anything. So when it gets quiet, I know that I need to pick up the phone and call people. And so I would just encourage you to go through your phone. We all have so many contacts at our age. Happy New Year, hope your holidays were good. It's such an easy time to reach out and just say, hey, I was thinking about you with the holidays. I hope it was really good. Start that conversation and see if you two aren't pleasantly surprised and somebody say, you know what, I've been watching you on Facebook. Because people use that like a Google or something. If they want to check you out, they go back and look at, you'd never know who's creeping on your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever. And, all of a sudden they say things that you're like, I'm like, we haven't even talked. How do you know? They've been watching you. So, I want to encourage you to pick up the phone and just say hello and just be a good person. Who knows what's going on in their life? Maybe they need a friend at that moment. And that's why you were prompted to reach out and give them a hand. Who knows what's going on? But, that kind of goes both ways. So, but yeah, don't wait till the new year. It already started. You see all the advertisements for weight loss. That's why they're doing all these courses this week. It's not that it's a down week. People are getting motivated already for the new year. We're already starting. So, she spent an hour. She probably motivated a lot of people, including Bobby and I, to get right to work with our business. So,
hey, you're going to hear us talk about this more now, and not the urgency to do it today if you haven't done it, but the big announcement for next year from LifeVantage is coming Rock the Rhythm on January 18th that evening. And somewhere along the line, you got to check your organization, your team, your downline, and make sure everybody that you have ever enrolled is registered for that event. It's free. Okay. It's not like you're getting them to pay for anything, but all you do is go in your back office, click on events, click on attendees, and it'll tell you how many people in your organization are attending, or registered. And from that, who's not registered, and make sure you get them registered and block that time out. Okay. It's probably going to run 2 hours. Okay. They're saying 90 minutes, but we know the information that's going to be shared, and I just can't imagine them doing it in 90 minutes. I don't, I don't see it. Okay, I'd say you're gonna have to allow 2 hours for it, but you know, there's 3 new products they're gonna talk about. There's the future of the company. You're gonna get so excited, you will not sleep until March. After they talk about things on January 18th, you will not sleep until March and after New Orleans. And then I don't even know if you'll sleep after that, because that's when it goes live and real. So I'm not sure, you know, but it's the most exciting thing April and I have ever been a part of or had the opportunity to know in advance. And we've been doing this 30 years. Okay. And it's by far the most exciting news that any company that we've, never mind, I mean, we've only been with one other company, but any company we've ever heard of, it's the most exciting news that we have ever heard anywhere in the industry. So, you know, just make sure January 18th, not only do you have that cleared out, blocked out, but anybody that's on your team needs to have it blocked out too. So want to open it up, April?
Yeah, please.
So any comments, any questions, any ideas, anything, just unmute yourself.
Bobby and April, I have a question. What was the name of the book, April, that you said you read? I think somebody was asking in the chat as well.
Okay, it's called The Collagen Cure, and it's only on Kindle. So, you know, it's an easy read though. It's on Kindle. It's a Dr. James. It's got a really long. Let me see.
Posted on the team page.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a picture and put it on the team page.
Okay.
But it's The Collagen Cure. You can find it on Amazon, and it's a Kindle edition only. There's no paper.
Okay, thank you.
Questions, anything, ideas, anything exciting? Zuma, you were the #1 person this week. You had 5 customers, Zuma.
Yay!
Congrats. Congratulations.
So Zuma, you will get, just so you know how it works, you will get a call from Taylor at the company. And he'll, you know, and you can pick out, you know, what you want from the LifeVantage store. He'll show you what you can do. But part of the deal that we're doing is whoever wins, he's calling them personally to talk to them, congratulate them, and you know, let you pick out your story. So Catalina was #2. April was #3, but we can't win. So we only had 2 winners this week. So.
We won anyway, so it's fine.
we win when you win, so it's okay.
I wanted to
Thanks
share
for all the great
something.
info.
Go ahead, Zuma.
I did oh gosh, I'm buying a townhouse, and it has been the fastest purchase ever. I looked at it at the beginning of the month, and we said by the end of December we are going to be buying it. They wanted to sell that way. I wanted to buy it that way, and I'm going to be closing on Thursday.
Oh, congrats.
Hey,
Good.
when you put
Feeling
2
better?
minds together and you both want it to happen, it'll happen. You know, that's great. Congratulations. Are you
Congrats.
going
you.
back to Savannah? You stay in North Carolina?
North Carolina is the place to be.
Good.
Savannah is, you know, too small. Chicago is very big. This one is in the middle. I'm going to be in Indian Trail. Is a suburb, and it's really, really, really cute.
So suburb of Charlotte or
Charlotte.
Charlotte?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm 30-40 minutes depending
Okay.
on when I can have meetings. People can park in here. There's, you know, people can park. It was, and interesting, I packed my stuff last year on the 29th from Savannah, drove, got here on the 30th, and unpacked. So I'm going to be unpacking on the 30th of this year, exactly 1 year.
Good.
Congrats. That's
Well,
awesome.
congrats. That's great. And I'm glad you found a place that really feels like home too. It's not easy to do sometimes, you know, to find something that really feels like home. So that's great.
Thank you.
Well, you're gonna have, you know, now that you're kind of anchored down and you know you're staying, your business will explode because something changes inside of you when you know you're going to be there for a while, and the people you're talking to can sense it too. Okay, that you're not making a pit stop and looking to go elsewhere. Once you're kind of anchored down, people know it, and You know, they'll be quicker to get involved. Customers are customers. They can buy from you anywhere because we're all over. But when they decide to be your business partner, they like to know that maybe you're close by, you know, at
Mhm.
least in the beginning. So good for
Yeah.
you.
Savannah people were kind of nice. I don't think that they're business people as much. They are that is too very southern.
Well, look, I
It's
spent a lot of
sweet.
time in
It's
Savannah years ago, and Savannah is old school, old time, old school. Charlotte's one of the newest, modernist, metropolitan, fastest growing cities in the country. So
Yep.
you're two different things going on. You know, you got multiple generations through Savannah, you know, 6, 7, 8 generations sometimes, you know, of things being passed along. And Charlotte's just a new place, you know, it's a newer place. So
in
you'll have
Savannah.
fun
You
here.
have to build and build relationship for them to trust you and to trust you. And everything is homey and everything happens at home. We don't share as much. In here, you have people from all over the United States.
Well, what's
It's like,
interesting, it sounds a lot like Orlando. See, when we meet somebody from Orlando, and other than Jennifer, who's on here, she's the only person we ever met that was actually like from Florida. Nobody's from Florida. Nobody's from Orlando. Everybody transplanted from somewhere else.
that's
So
Charlotte.
when you get, you know, it takes a little while to develop a relationship, but when you do, it almost immediately takes you into another city because they're from another city. Okay, that's kind of where they grow, like the Florida, New York thing. You know, about half the state of Florida now is from New York. So there's no way that you're not going to do business in New York if you're doing business in Florida. And Charlotte's one of those. Atlanta's a lot like that too. Everybody seems to be from somewhere else, you know, and Charlotte in particular though. So anyone else? Anything? And you know, whatever's going on, questions, anything? Len, you got something? Now you good? Alex, you on a ladder? You got anything? I hope you took today off, Alex.
I'm almost stuck in Utah. I'm getting home tomorrow, I believe, on a different flight.
So weather or just
No,
because everyone
cancellation.
else
We're
is
saying
canceling?
weather. Yeah, I don't believe the weather, but you know, there's a big storm coming.
Well, you know, when all the flights get canceled, it causes grief on everybody all over the country. It's not just the
Yeah,
area
correct.
where the weather's bad, you know. Yeah, that's one of the things we were glad to get on the port. We were able to drive to the port. We were talking to people as they were getting off the boat today, and what a nightmare some of them had getting to the boat, you know, from
Yeah, sure.
you know, we live in Florida, so 4 hours we were at Miami by car, and a lot of people that were flying in, you know, and they had trouble flying in because of all the weather. I mean,
Sure.
it was, but all good. Allie, Angie, you guys got anything? Everybody good? All right, we'll get this edited, we'll get it posted, but all kidding aside, I have no idea what the company's going to do between now and the end of the month, but don't be surprised if they do something tomorrow to close out the year. I have no idea. And honestly, I don't have any idea. I generally say there's something coming if there is something coming, but I have not heard anything. But it seems like whenever the quarter ends and December closes out the second quarter for the company, it seems like they like to do something at the end of the month when the quarter ends, and that happens to be this month. So I know they're pushing on the collagen sales, that's for sure.
Okay.
So
You mentioned that there are 3 new products. Can I mention that to to my distributors?
No,
Okay, so you said it, but I'm not saying.
no, you
Okay.
cannot say that. We're just talking to you guys, but they will announce that on the 18th. Okay, April and I are using them. You know, we've been using them.
And it's going to be translated.
So
You know that? Oh,
if you say
cool.
so, I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's
Like-
great.
Like, is subtitles or how's it gonna be translated?
They haven't explained it to me yet, but she said definitely it's going to be translated.
That's great.
So maybe it's going to be a different link or something. They know. I don't know.
Okay, if you hear anything that I don't, please let me know, because.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if they're gonna, you know, if the live event is gonna be done in Spanish live, just in case I forget to ask, if you hear that, let us know. Okay,
Mhm.
definitely let us know.
Yes, I asked.
And that
Anna.
may very well be the case. They may, you know, have one of the elite distributors that are fluent in Spanish just translate and the whole thing, you know, as it happens. So April, anything else? Ira, you good? All right, we'll let you guys go. Merry Christmas again and happy